When you ban pets from rentals, it costs you thousands of dollars, but still, this is a very common mistake we see new landlords making, despite the current data, which I will touch on in a bit. As someone that has written 3 books on midterm furnished 30-plus day rentals, has had my own midterm rentals since 2017, and have been mentoring new landlords through the process of setting up their listing, finding tenants, vetting tenants, and installing tenants, allowing or not allowing for pets continues to be a very popular topic, both with my clients and also in the rental space. Some concerns my clients have had, and which this video will cover, are: what are my rights as a landlord with pets? What should my deposit be? And finally, for people that really don't want pets, I get asked a lot, can I have a successful rental without allowing pets? And the answer to that is yes, you can, but because you are reducing your tenant pool, you need to frame your rental listing differently than if you had a rental that did allow for pets. In this video, I'll cover classifications, landlord rights, pet deposits, and the most compelling reason to allow pets that I can think of. But the first thing you should know if you are considering renting a property with pets is that many insurance carriers have a list of dog breeds that they will not insure against. Before the state of Colorado made it illegal for insurance carriers to refuse to insure certain dog breeds, my insurance carrier had 13 different breeds it banned. And while there are 8 total states that will not allow insurance companies to ban dog breeds, there are still 42 other states that do allow for this. And for that reason, you should email your insurance and ask about which breeds they ban, and as always, get the answer in writing. My name is Erin Spradlin. This is my channel. My goal with every video is educating mom and pop landlords on how to have a successful rental. While I am not a lawyer, CPA, or accountant, my full-time job is teaching people how to start and manage their own rentals. I offer coaching in different packages for landlords nationwide, from the full mentor package to 1 and 2 hour sessions, and my online store has free resources, including a lease, for new landlords as well. If you have learned anything so far or learned something during this video, please like it. And if you're ready to stop guessing and get a rental that works, reach out. I've helped landlords nationwide do exactly that. Okay, so let's get into classifications. There are 3 different classifications that are important when you are considering allowing for pets. And we're going to start here because this information both surprises my clients and also factors into their decision. So the first classification is just a straight up pet. My dogs are pets, meaning they have no special training, they have no doctor's notes attached to them. They were brought into my life to expand my family, and I love them like crazy, but they have no special talents to speak of and offer no real-world help. That said, I think in a world where we see a growing tenant pool because some of the population doesn't have money to purchase a home, you may also see those same tenants opting to have a pet instead of having kids. And while that is sad and that is pretty uncomfortable to say, it is a reality, and the implications for that mean more and more of your tenants will likely have pets. The second classification is service animals. Most lay people identify service animals when they are helping the visually impaired. So service animals are highly trained, they have skills, they come with a doctor's note if necessary. They are companions, but they are also important tools that improve that tenant's life. And the third classification is emotional support animals. Currently, there are not great standards for emotional support animals. They do need to come from a licensed healthcare professional, and in 5 states, so Arkansas, Iowa, Louisiana, Montana, and California, the patient and the signer of that letter must have a relationship that is at least 30 days old. The letter should explain that the patient, so the tenant, has a condition and that the animal helps with that condition, but that's all the letter needs to say. So as a landlord, this is what you need to know about each classification. We're going to start with pets again. So landlords have no obligations to pets. You as the landlord can say, I allow dogs, but I don't allow cats. I allow only non-shed dog breeds. I only want dogs that are 20 pounds or less. I don't allow any pets. Now, California is flirting with changing this, but as of the making of this video, so May of 2025, a landlord in any state can dictate what they will and will not accept for a pet. Regarding service animals, you have to take them and you can't ask a lot of questions about them. This is to protect the patient's privacy and to protect their right to housing. However, typically service animals don't cause problems because they are well trained. And finally, we have emotional service animals. These are usually the ones that kind of create some issues. Like service animals, by law, you have to take them and you can't ask a lot of questions about them. However, unlike service animals, I am not aware of any training standards, and the main requirement for emotional support animals is that they bring emotional support to your tenant, however your tenant defines that. For all classifications, you can take a deposit and you can charge against that deposit if the pet or the service animal or the emotional support animal damages or destroys something in your house. You, as the landlord, have the right to make yourself whole. On Airbnb, and note, this video is being recorded on May 12th, 2025, and Airbnb has an update coming out tomorrow, but I'm not anticipating there will be major changes to the pet rules. I will, however, probably make a video about the Airbnb update regardless, which is actually maybe not a bad reason to subscribe to this channel because then you will get updated. But with Airbnb, you don't take a deposit for anyone or anything, including pets. However, on Airbnb, you can charge a one-time fee that is equal to or less than your highest daily rate. That fee allows the tenant the right to bring in pets, and you as the landlord can stipulate how many pets are allowed. But a note on this, if you allow for 3 pets, you don't get to charge that fee 3 times. It is a one and done fee. Outside of Airbnb, you can take a deposit, and you should. Seriously, deposits are your best way to protect yourself, and don't ever let any of these platform sites or a tenant tell you differently. But on Zillow Rentals, Furnished Finder, etc., you can take a deposit. And while you can break this into a pet deposit versus a human deposit, I don't. And the reason that I don't is that I think it can confuse when and where the deposit is applied and by how much. More importantly, the reality is I don't care if it was the 30-year-old, the 3-year-old, or the dog that damaged the couch. I just, as the landlord, need to be made whole. And so I am going to make myself whole from the deposit. I have the right to do this, and I have the right to do this regardless of whether or not it was a human, a service animal, a support animal, or just a straight up pet. What I'm about to show you is the most compelling reason to allow for pets in your property. Before I talk about this though, when I was writing my first book, American Nomads, I came across a study, and it is cited in the book, but I am not going to cite it here because that would require me to get up and go get the book, and that's not going to happen. But it is cited in the book. I know it's a real study. But when I was writing the book, I researched this, and it stated that landlords that allowed for pets came out ahead of landlords that don't allow for pets. And the reason for this is that landlords that allowed for pets claim something like $30 more annually from their insurance than landlords that didn't allow for pets. However, the landlords that allowed for pets could charge more for rent because they allowed those pets. So what that means is they only saw a $30 difference across insurance claims, but they were obviously making more per year by allowing for pets because they were charging higher rents. And when I was talking to some fellow industry experts, we started talking off mic around pets, and they confirmed that they had found the same thing. And when they dug deeper into the study, they believed the reason for that is because 1, tenants were very thankful to be allowed to bring the pets in, so they took the responsibility seriously. And 2, that this is a new world where the tenants, especially your midterm rental tenants, so your 30+ day furnished rental tenants, work from home. So they are with the pets a lot more. There's less damage now than the earlier aughts because more of us are at home with our pets, or we take our pets to work with us. Back to the most compelling reason though. Most places will rent. 34% of US householders are renters, which is approximately 44 million renter-occupied housing units. These percentages are higher in urban areas, and they're also higher among younger people. The point I'm trying to make is that there is a renter for almost all rentals. However, this is a numbers game. Landlords have a lot of competition, and landlords in the furnished rental space particularly have seen more competition in the past 2 years as more people have grown aware of the space and are attracted to the midterm rental model because of the elevated rents and the behavior patterns of the midterm rental tenants. That's a complicated way of saying midterm rental tenants are often easy and they pay more for an extended amount of time. So the money is there. If this is a numbers game though, you want the most eyes on your property. And when we look at different markets here, I pulled California, Texas, and Florida, we see our competition decline by 52% in California, 38% in Texas, and 44% in Florida. So, in these really competitive markets, this is a fantastic way to knock out about 40% of your rental competition. So, these are the kinds of things you want to think about when considering if you should rent your property to a tenant that wants to come in with a pet. On a final note, it is the tenant you need to worry about and not the pet. There are steps you can take to safely vet tenants in whatever platform you are in, and there are some markers that matter far more than others. The best way to protect your rental is to vet your tenants before they walk in the door. Hope that helps.